Throughout human history, the Asia-Pacific has played a dominant role in the formation of religions and cultures, through exploration and invention, in the development of science, agriculture, and trade. Though its numerous empires and peoples have left their mark on the world, in the past few centuries, the role of the Asia-Pacific was diminished in its global influence. This seems to be about to change. The 21st century will be the Asia-Pacific century. Rapid growth has quickly placed the region at the center of the world's stage. The population is growing fast. In a world of more than 7 billion people, the citizens of the Asia-Pacific are more than half the global population. 2 billion people are in China and India alone. The fastest growing economies in the world are here. In 2011 and 2012, the region's growth was 8 times that of Europe and 4 times that of the United States. Now that the Asia-Pacific is a key engine of the global economy, the forecast for long-term growth is strong. Its share of world gross domestic product is 36%, the highest of any region in the world. By 2030, the region's share of GDP will nearly double, accounting for 2/3 of the world economy. China's economy alone will overtake the Eurozone by 2015, then surpass the United States, now the world's largest economy, by 2030. The middle class in the Asia-Pacific is growing. In 2010, they accounted for 28% of the global middle class. By 2020, that number will be 54%. And by 2030, it will be 66%. In that same year, this middle class will spend $33 trillion on consumer goods. Stronger politically than ever before, the region has been transformed from one of conflict, tensions, and internal divisions to a region of peace, progress, and cooperation. An elaborate system of regional organizations promotes cooperation on diplomacy, security, and economic matters. The Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or SCO, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, and the East Asia Summit, or EAS, to name a few, all promote the prosperity of the region. This reflects a fundamental change in the character of the region and its governments. Deeply divided areas in the region are no longer at war. Politically and economically closed nations like Myanmar are opening up to the world. Overall, trade barriers are down, connectivity is up. A region on the move. Travel to, from, or within the Asia-Pacific will be half of the world's air traffic by 2030. The region's airline fleets will almost triple to meet this demand. In an interconnected age, internet use has also increased dramatically, from 3% of the Asia-Pacific population in 2000 to 20% in 2009. All this data suggests a bright future for the Asia-Pacific. At the same time, though, many challenges and threats loom large, and more cooperation is needed to face down these challenges. Natural resources are in high demand. The Asia-Pacific is the world's biggest consumer of oil. In 1970, the region accounted for 15% of global consumption. Today, consumption has doubled at 30% of world use. By 2030, consumption will reach 45% of the world total. Water scarcity is set to become the Asia-Pacific's defining crisis of the 21st century. The Asia-Pacific region already uses 78% of its water supply for irrigation. In Pakistan, this number is already 90%, and water usage in the country will exceed demand by 2025. In Central Asia, relations between upstream and downstream countries can become tense. Tajikistan and Uzbekistan are just one example. In China, half of the country's 660 cities already suffer from water shortages, and the region will need more water to grow more food. Food production must increase 60% by 2050. Climate change and its environmental impact make it harder to address these resource challenges. For some countries in the region, such as the Maldives, this is an existential threat. For other countries, such as Australia, it represents a loss of natural resources. The Asia Development Bank estimates that the Asia Pacific would have to invest $40 billion every year until 2050 just to neutralize its impact. Urbanization is another challenge for governments and people alike. Growing urban populations create critical demands on housing, transportation, security, and infrastructure. Failed cities can become as dangerous as failed states. In Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Laos, between 70 and 80% of the urban population lives in slums. It is true that poverty is decreasing at an extraordinary rate, but inequality is also rising. In these 11 countries, income disparity has increased drastically in the last 10 years. These countries make up more than 80% of the region's population. Some experts have linked inequality to social tensions, unrest, and conflict. Experts also suggest that a youth population greater than 40% is a destabilizing force. In the poorest Asia-Pacific countries, over 50% of the population is under 25. Pakistan, for example, will have massive numbers of young people requiring jobs and education. A World Bank report estimates that South Asia will need 1.2 million new jobs every month for the next 20 years to keep up with this demographic. Education spending in the Asia-Pacific, today the lowest in the world, will also have to go up. It is currently only 3% of GDP. But some countries will have the opposite problem. Russia, for example, will age dramatically, facing challenges for their pensions and healthcare systems. Healthcare costs in the Asia-Pacific will increase 8% every year for the next decade. Governments face a spending shortfall of nearly $200 billion. This is what some call the health protection gap. Security and diplomatic challenges also remain. Militaries across the region are growing and modernizing. China, India, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan doubled their collective military spending in the last decade. Unresolved diplomatic questions, rivalries, and territorial disputes linger. The South China Sea, the Korean Peninsula, the India-Pakistan border, and the Middle East are only a few examples of troubled areas. The region accounts for the largest number of forced laborers in the world. There are 12 million trafficked workers in the Asia-Pacific, close to 60% of the global total. Human and drug trafficking, terrorism, and organized crime are only a few of the threats that show no respect for borders. These dangerous challenges all require cooperation among states. A lasting, peaceful order will only be built on trust, openness, and dialogue. We hope the JIDD will become a tradition to facilitate partnership and cooperation and help ensure stability and prosperity. Let this important conversation begin now.